Okay, so if you think about sort of, I guess that's what uploading is. Uploading is getting rid of these neurons, uploading ourselves into computers. You can imagine uploading happening in one of two ways. It could happen basically the philosopher's simplification, all in one go. You press a button and suddenly you're in that laptop. Or, and this is actually the way that Kurzweil thinks it will happen gradually. And I guess this is sort of the seductive process, reality of uploading according to Kurzweil. So he says, well, look, if you think about what's happening now, I mean, we're laying the groundwork. Uploading is actually already beginning. And cochlear implants are sort of the start, a very basic way in which we have replaced one part of the brain, sort of the part of the brain that basically sort of turns stuff out here into sound that we can hear. If you have a cochlear implant, you can be a profoundly deaf person and hear, not because you have a machine that amplifies sound, but because you have something that talks directly to your brain. And I guess prosthetic hippocampuses could be the next step. I mean, if you've got Alzheimer's disease, you may have a problem with your hippocampus. One reason that you have a faulty memory may be that your hippocampus has suffered damage. Well, there's work going on prosthetic hippocampuses, which will be sort of machines, chips that you'll stick into your head, and will do the job that was done by your biological brain. And yeah, I guess once you do that, this is why, basically this is a process. I mean, the assumption is that anything that a brain does, a biological brain does, any process, any task that it does, a computer can potentially do at least as well, at least in principle. But basically once we do that, and he thinks it's going to be kind of an incremental thing, you basically say, well, I'm getting a little bit forgetful, why don't I have a little electronic sort of prosthetic hippocampus put in, or I don't know, my hearing's going, I need a cochlear implant, or some other part of my brain is breaking down, why don't I replace that? But once we turn our minds into technology, I mean, they're going to be governed by the law of accelerating returns. So they will go on and get better and better and better. And he says this is sort of almost the inside the black box part of Kurzweil's book. I mean, when the singularity arrives, which is actually sort of very, very soon, 2045, thinks Kurzweil, the singularity will be here, and we'll celebrate that event by creating a brain, a mind, that is over 100 million times more powerful than all human intelligence today. So that's something to write down in your calendars. So actually, okay, I think this is a bad idea, and I don't think that we should be uploading. In fact, I don't really even only think that we shouldn't be uploading. We should be stopping other people from uploading. So we should be sort of mean and nasty. We should be prudent when it comes to ourselves. I think it's imprudent to upload, but we should stop other people from uploading. And I guess one reason, just to sort of present an argument, probably the most famous argument in the philosophy of artificial intelligence, an argument by John Searle, this is the Chinese room argument, just sort of, I mean, I've got that there in very kind of quick overview. I mean, basically, Searle's argument says, well, look, I wouldn't upload, and the reason I wouldn't upload is because I don't think that computers think. I don't think that they're thinking. So basically, uploading would be replacing my thinking, breathing existence with something that's sort of akin to a $5 calculator. It's kind of a very, very bad thing to do. And he's got an argument, okay, I have to sort of, I don't know, because his argument goes, if you think about, I mean, if you imagine, he imagines himself in a room, he says, makes the true claim, I gather, that he doesn't speak Chinese. He says, well, look, I'm in a room with a book, people pass Chinese sentences on bits of paper into me. I look up a book. I don't know Chinese. I require no Chinese in order to do this. The book directs me to another page in the book, which tells me to pass out other bits of paper with symbols that he doesn't understand on them. And completely unbeknownst to him, he's actually, the room itself is performing flawlessly as a Chinese speaker. Now, it's performing flawlessly as a Chinese speaker in a way that a computer might, but it actually does that without understanding any Chinese whatsoever. Now, I actually think this is not a great argument, and I have to confess that I don't believe it. But what I want to do is I guess it's part of it's the ground, or arguments like it, for my skepticism. I want to turn this argument into a wager. So I want to sort of present it to you as something that you don't have to believe, but something that you might think could be true. So it's sort of, in a way, worth taking a punt on. I mean, much in the way, I guess we can call this Searle's wager, much in the way, sort of, it's a similar kind of idea to Pascal's wager, except I hope this is a better argument than Pascal's wager. And I want to try and use it to convince you that uploading is prudentially irrational. So I want to use the conclusion of that, much in the way that Pascal used God exists. For his wager, I want to use you will die if you upload for my wager. Okay, so I guess if we do that, and we're placing a wager, we can't be sure. Searle could be right, he could be wrong. Kurzweil could be right, he could be wrong. We've got two choices. We can choose not to upload, or we can choose to upload and destroy our original bodies and brains. I mean, why I've added that detail, I'll say a little bit about at the end. I guess, yeah, there you go. And there are two possibilities that are relevant. I mean, Kurzweil could be right, and the upload's you, and it's capable of conscious thought, which is fantastic if you choose to upload, or Searle is right, and you basically sort of traded in your bodily existence for something that, well, resembles that of a $5 calculator. So I guess if we fill out these cells, if we choose not to upload and Kurzweil's right, then we benefit from enhancements, if there are any enhancements, that preserve the biological brain. So we're very worried about the continuing existence of this biological brain. Maybe we'll tack on a few neuroprostheses, but we won't tack on anything that we think destroys or is likely to destroy the biological brain. So we'll miss out on a whole host of other enhancements that will become possible if the law of accelerating returns is right and we turn the brain, the mind into technology. So we'll remain dumb while those who've chosen to upload get a lot smarter. But if Searle's right, we've actually won because we survive, whereas those who chose to upload ended up dead. Choose not to upload, or choose to upload and destroy your original biological brain if Kurzweil's right. Well, then you've won big time. If Searle is right, well, you've lost. You're dead. So actually, this is the handout that I gave you. Basically, has this on it. So I just want to sort of focus. The remainder of the talk, I'll be doing a lot of talk. I'll be sort of talking a lot about A, B, and C. So it's probably quite useful to have those there. So I guess the key issue, it seems to me, is that C seems better than A, and B better than D. Okay. So I guess that's a sort of a summary. If you were just trying to work out the likely possible consequences of your bet.